Okay, Disneyland friends, take notes, okay? This is gonna be important knowledge for you to know here with the Adventureland Treehouse coming up soon in Anaheim. Everybody is clamoring for the next Rise of the Resistance, the next Runaway Railway, the next trackless thrill attraction coaster that is also a dark ride mixed in with a boat ride. Now believe me, I enjoy those too. My top 2 favorite Disney rides are composed of a dark ride slash boat ride and a dark ride slash Omnimover ride. But Disney made an announcement in 2019 about one of their upcoming attractions at one of their premier theme parks at Walt Disney World, and a lot of people just didn't really understand it. But me, I am here to clear the air and advocate for the Disney parks because a lot of people skip or walk right past or underestimate the value of a walkthrough attraction. One of my favorite rides, again going back, began as a walkthrough. Sort of, kind of is still, for like the first quarter. Because yes, while walkthrough attractions don't really go through show buildings or loop-de-loops or down drops, they are just as entertaining, dare I say, even more immersive than other attractions. This is the entirely unique and, dare I say, underappreciated value of walkthrough attractions at the Disney parks. You know, when Disneyland opened in 1955, a lot of people have it in their head that it was just sort of like this.
Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
When in reality it was more something along these lines.
A vista into a world of wondrous ideas, signifying man's achievements. I thought I got a signal.
They say Rome wasn't built in a day, and Disneyland wasn't either. It was actually 365 days. And in the final Disneyland plan, Walt and all of WED had amazing ideas for attractions that would be featured in each land. The Jungle Cruise, a Frontierland stagecoach, dark rides taking you through your favorite scenes from your favorite classic, then, I guess, modern Disney animated movies. You could walk through a castle based on a movie that wasn't even released yet and wouldn't release for a few more years. Good on you, Walt. Good advertising there. But you couldn't go into the castle. You couldn't walk through Wonderland. But on opening day in 1955, there were, interestingly enough, a couple of precursors to the modern-day walkthrough attraction that could be found at Disneyland. The Main Street window dioramas. You know, when you're walking down Main Street and even other lands and you look in toward the Emporium or maybe even the Market House, you'll see these small sort of vignettes, these scenes that Disney makes to sort of advertise what's going on inside of the shop in a turn-of-the-century way to people walking down Main Street. It's fascinating how Disney comes up with these and builds these. They were around from the very beginning, and Walt was very much inspired by these window shoppers and window dioramas you would see in New York City around the holidays. Like at Disneyland, they were little scenes that you could look into and see what you could find inside the store in case you were just doing a little bit of window shopping. Maybe you could pick up a little toy car for Sally or a dolly for Bobby on your way home for Christmas. And that's not even talking about the enchanted windows on Main Street, which are scenes from different Disney movies that would come to life in various sorts of ways. Very fun to look at if you're in the area. But the window displays were sort of Disney's first step into crafting a scene that didn't require a guest to be in an attraction vehicle and for everything to be on a timer and having voice lines and effects going off as guests rode by. This was a permanent scene that could be admired for as long or as short as a guest wanted to. The other half of the inspiration that led to the classic walkthrough attraction, as we know it today, was the Monsanto Hall of Chemistry, and, more importantly to me, the Kaiser Aluminum Hall of Fame. See, the general plan when building Tomorrowland was, I don't know, it's future. We could show off stuff from the future there. Although I should be fair and mention that Tomorrowland did have an e-ticket, as we would know it today, attraction, flight to the moon, rocket to the moon, mission to Mars, doesn't matter, it was a rocket simulator. You sat down, you didn't walk, it's not important to this video. But the Hall of Chemistry and the Aluminum Hall of Fame were sort of mini museums within Disneyland, showing the future potential of chemistry and, of course, Kaiser aluminum. It's more than just something you can keep your food warm with, believe it or not. And although there were exhibits and displays you could look at, there weren't really any scenes built from the ground up to represent life in the future. It was more so an edutainment experience, if you will. But there was one exhibit in Tomorrowland that was further down the walk-through attraction brick road than the other two that we've mentioned, and that was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Yes, it was a 20,000 Leagues museum. Essentially, Tomorrowland was so underplanned that they just put props from the movie in there, but it was a themed museum. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Disney back in 1955 did not, and still to this day does not, own Monsanto, although I guess it is only March, there's still time. So yes, while Disney did get final say as to what ended up going in Tomorrowland, Monsanto oversaw a lot of what was inside. But with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, it was based off of a recently released Disney movie. Disney owned everything in there. They could do whatever they wanted, and that meant including sets from the movie. That's right, themed sets, or as one may call them, scenes. And with that, I would say the walkthrough attraction wasn't born, but it was definitely conceived at this point. And in 1956, a full year after the park opened, Disneyland took its first step into fully immersive walkthrough attractions with the opening of Tom Sawyer Island in Frontierland. This island was full of scenes created from the ground up for Disneyland. Even Fort Wilderness is there, even though you can't go in it. It's Phantasmic storage now. And I think the island was Disney's sort of realization that walkthrough attractions have, one, a very, very high capacity because you don't have to put people in a ride vehicle, they just make their way through it on their own. And two, it's a great place to go and get away from the crowds that all tend to flock to the thrilling, high-tech Indiana Jones, Haunted Mansion, Rise of the Resistance style attractions. These are simple pleasures, quiet experiences. And it was in 1962 when the final form of what we know today as the walkthrough attraction opened at Disneyland in the form of the Swiss Family Treehouse. The Treehouse was sort of the purest adaptation of an indoor classic Disney dark ride, just done outside, and you're not riding anything, you're walking. So I guess not a Disney dark ride, more of a Disney light walk. Oh. And when the Magic Kingdom opened up in 1971, it also on opening day featured its own version of the classic Disneyland walkthrough, this time a bit bigger. So in case you didn't know, the Swiss Family Treehouse is currently and has always existed at the Magic Kingdom, but is now sort of returning in a way to Disneyland, right? We're getting the Adventureland Treehouse, which is sort of a broad Adventureland theme. But it also is sort of centered around Swiss Family a little bit. They are the ones who live there. They are the ones who sort of make fun little contraptions. Like this little guy carrying buckets of water, fresh water from the stream up to the bedrooms. We are gonna go higher. We are gonna see more of the Swiss Family Treehouse. And in here, another thing to be used to. That right there is the Swiss Family Robinson coat of arms. That is absolutely going to make an appearance at the Adventureland Treehouse. This is like sort of some homework, some pre-gaming for the Adventureland Treehouse coming soon to Disneyland. Wow, very cozy. You got the Bibble. You got some china. They have an organ that's playing "Oh Christmas Tree" or "Oh Tannenbaum." A picture of a ship. What is this? I don't know what that is. An hourglass. That's huge. Muffled Dallin from the past raises a good point. This, like I mentioned earlier, was sort of a pure transition from the indoor dark rides to an outdoor walkthrough. This is a scene that you would find in a dark ride, just you're able to experience it at your own pace, and I suppose it's no longer in the dark. One of the simple beauties of the treehouse that I would like to mention that isn't present in every other walkthrough attraction is the views of the park that you get. That hasn't been present at Disneyland since Tarzan's closed down, but I think it's really underappreciated, especially going up there at night and just getting the lay of the land and seeing all of the attractions lit up. But there was one walkthrough attraction at Disneyland that combined the best of both worlds. Walkthroughs that you could do at your own pace and get away from the crowds, and a dark ride, and that is the Sleeping Beauty Castle walkthrough. An extremely underrated attraction, if I do say so myself. This attraction uses everything from forced perspective to lighting effects, things that you would find inside higher budget attractions, just inside the castle. You could walk through it. It also features things that you cannot do inside attractions, like interactive elements. The Corridor of Goons, one of my favorite locations in any of the Disney parks anywhere in the world, has a door that jump scares people. It's a jump scare door. Also, take your friends and family up into the Corridor of Goons and don't tell them that it's a jump scare door. Report back to me with results. I'm interested. The Sleeping Beauty Castle walkthrough at Disneyland has my vote for my favorite walkthrough attraction anywhere in the world. And to be fair, I am skipping a lot of other walkthroughs like the Hedge Maze over at Disneyland Paris, or even things like Mickey and Minnie's house in Toontown. Those are closed now, but they'll reopen soon. But speaking of things that have yet to open, a brand new walkthrough attraction was announced for Epcot, one of my favorite parks, in 2019. And we've seen various aspects of this attraction completed over the past few months. Moana, The Journey of Water is going to open this year. And what makes this special is this is Disney's first sort of next generation walkthrough.
There's so much going on. I'm already seeing it.
Epcot is going through one of the biggest transformations in its history, and Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, is part of that. So we have artisans working on rock work, working on paint, special effects are going in. Music is a huge component of the film, and that will be a component of this experience as well. As guests enter into the experience, we really want them to be surrounded by this kind of lush Polynesian environment, surrounded with, of course, water and a few familiar characters from the film. We have probably a dozen characters that are hidden in nooks and crannies throughout the experience and within the waterways. There is one very recognizable character and very present character, and that's Te Fiti. She'll be at the heart of the experience, greeting guests as they travel through.
Which is awesome. I know you have a lot of engaging elements with this.
Part of engaging with water is seeing how it responds to us. And one way you greet your friend is by waving. I would imagine one way to greet water would be doing the similar thing. So we'll have to wait and see when the experience opens, how the water reacts to when we do that.
Right there, right away, our good friend Reed confirms something that I love in walkthrough attractions, something that unfortunately is sort of absent from the tree houses, and that is interactive elements. Maybe for the Adventureland Treehouse, we don't know yet, but that's why I love the Corridor of Goons so much. It brings you into the story. That's why I love the interactive queue for the Haunted Mansion so much when it's open. Whenever they decide to open it. The interactive elements at, say, Tarzan's Treehouse were sort of a post-show. They only happened when you got on the ground. Hopefully, with the Adventureland Treehouse, we see this change. There are things that we could do in the treehouse to affect the house around us. This is just me speculating at this point. The only thing we have really confirmed about the treehouse is the interior rooms and that it will be, quote, full of magic, enchantment, and wonder. So there's a good chance we'll see some interactivity. Plus, it's tied into the SEA, so you already know I'm spending all of my time there when I'm at Disneyland. That's just the way it is, sorry. And I'm excited to see how Disney innovates with Moana and the Adventureland Treehouse. And I'm glad that those two attractions existing and being invested in means that they're not just getting rid of walkthrough attractions in favor of Pirates of the Caribbean expansion. Or like a Moana log flume ride. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wait. I suppose we'll just have to wait and see what the second generation of walkthrough attractions brings. Third generation? Do you count the Hall of Aluminum? Third generation of walkthrough attractions brings. I don't know, I might have been critical or sounding weird about it, but I am excited for the Adventureland Treehouse, especially with more of an SEA representation. It's gonna be amazing. Parks need more walkthrough attractions. That's why I'm so excited for Moana, The Journey of Water. I suppose we'll find out this year whether the next generation of walkthroughs will be any good, but my hopes are high. It's something any guest can do, no height requirement, in the middle of the day when you're feeling like you just want to get away from the crowds. Walkthroughs provide that escape. And you know, a little bit more SEA in the parks, that never hurts. It never hurts in the least. More of this, please. Just more SEA. Hey everybody, thank you for watching my video where I rant about how much I love and why I love walkthrough attractions. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to stick around, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here and want more, I guess, Moana Journey of Water videos. It's a thing. Huge thank you to all of my supporters over at patreon.com. They get early access to videos just like this one, so if you want to join their ranks, maybe get a little sneak peek of videos before they're available to the general public, head over there. It's a link in the description down below. Even just $1 a month will get you access to most of the perks. Also, remember that you can follow me on my other social media accounts. I am at Offhand Disney on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok if you're interested in some more offhand content. And also, Foolish Mortals. Don't forget, we recently came back. We're doing Foolish Mortals again, on and off. We'll see how often we do it. And if you like that, why not watch my previous 2 videos about the Haunted Mansion, the potential future of the attraction, and of the film. Very, very interesting watches. They kind of go hand in hand. Here at the end of the video, I must ask, what is your favorite walkthrough attraction? I think the Adventureland Treehouse is going to be mine, just solely for the world building it's going to do for Adventureland when it opens, but man, I love the Sleeping Beauty Castle walkthrough. There's just something special about all of those vignettes and being inside the castle. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. I'd love to hear what your favorite is down in the comments below, but that, I believe, brings us to the end of the video. Everybody, thank you so much for watching, sticking through to the end card. If you're listening to this, you are a true fan. Let's leave like a code word in the comments. We'll do something walkthrough themed. How about shoes? We'll leave shoes somewhere in your comments, and I'll know you made it to this part of the video. I mean, how else would you make it through a walkthrough attraction or a day at Disney without your shoes? One last time, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in next week's video. We're getting to the point where I'm expecting them to release some sort of Haunted Mansion renovation edition information, so just keep an eye out for that. Goodbye.